When's the best time to float? This one's a good question.
Wow. I'm excited.
I know, I'm trying to amp you up. When's the best time to float? Really common question. It gets asked, and it's a good one that, much like many questions, get answered by yourself with experience. So why do people ask? I think everybody asks about like, when's the best time to go to the gym or go for a run or go for a float, or what's the best time to meditate or have any other type of little practice or hobby on the go.
Maybe in your crazy world.
And it's no different. Well, what's something you would do in the morning versus night?
I don't ask myself questions.
Do I like playing video games in the morning or at night?
What are you trying to
My
say?
answer is all the time.
What are you trying to say about me?
I don't know, you were throwing some shade. So I'm just getting an umbrella. AM, PM, morning, afternoon, night. Whenever you float, it's gonna be a delight.
What the hell?
Yeah, that just happened.
Did you write that down?
I didn't, but it just kind of came to me.
What works.
I was actually just listing different times of day in different formats, and it just happened.
I see.
You can float at all these times because we're open crazy, wild hours. But the answer is it just needs to work for you. And the way you can tell if it works for you is floating enough times to find out, and floating a variety of different times to find out what works best for you, instead of just leaving it with a general kind of lame ass answer like that of just float a bunch of times and see what happens, which is also a valid answer. Some suggestions are where to start to find out what works best for you. Is it's really gonna come down to what your current schedule is at the time. Suddenly you're working, night shifts, your schedule and what works best for you might need to change if you've always been floating when you've been working a regular, 4 or 5 days a week versus going on some kind of shift work or something. Finding a time each week where you're not gonna be doing a ton of stuff before your float, so you're not flying in here at 200 miles an hour or kilometers an hour.
That's better.
There you go, that was for JP.
Thanks for that correction.
That's for JP. If you can find a time that you don't have a ton of stuff happening before, a ton of stuff happening after, that's probably the best time. So whether that's the morning, afternoon, or an evening, or a weekday, or a weekend, that's probably the best place to start. Once you've got a few floats under your belt, you can start to experiment with different times of day, different times of the week, and maybe even eventually start floating after a stressful time or before you have some crazy stuff going on, because you've learned to hone in the power of the float. Any other comments?
I don't think so. I think this one's over.
Until next time.
Oh, sorry. Can you do that again?
I don't even know what I was doing. So, until next time, if you have other questions or want some follow-up to these questions, find a way to reach out to us in a variety of different ways. On social media.
Most people use the internet.
And email. At some point, we may get a way that people can send carrier pigeons. Can't promise you'll get your pigeon back, but hopefully you get the question that we can answer for you.
Yeah,
But don't
Matt
ask
likes
about the
pigeons. He finds
pigeons.
them really tasty.
Yeah, well, I'm a pigeon collector. I like all animals. A little pigeon farm at home.
By collector, he means he eats pigeons.
Assumptions are dangerous.
That's better.
I don't think you can adjust the ISO in front of me. ISO.
I'm gonna smash this camera on the floor so nobody has to witness this.